My name is C.Simmons, and I am here today to speak on why women athletes should be equally paid as male athletes in today's society. How many women athletes that are watching this video today? If you're a woman athlete, I believe you should believe, and everybody else should believe, that women athletes should be equally paid as males. Just because of all of the work that they do to become successful in that sport, and as a woman, it's like incredibly harder for them to be successful in a sport. The 3 points that I'm going to cover in this speech are women athletes should be equally paid as males. They should be equally paid as males because they overcome a lot of adversity just to become successful in their sport. Also, they should be equally paid as males for the great athletes that they are. Simply, women are underappreciated because they don't. Example, like in the sport basketball, they don't dunk as much as as males do, and do like incredible things that ooh and ah the fan base and the crowd. But they do the same as males. They put the ball in the basket, and they do all the needed things to be successful in the sport. My third point is women athletes go underappreciated for the same sport and working just as hard as males. To cover my first point, women overcome a lot of adversity just to become successful in their sport. For example, every day as a woman, they get down talked by male figures. Usually the male figures say things like, you can't do this, you can't do that. But in actuality, they do the same thing that males do in their sport. Like, for example, compare baseball to softball. Softball players nowadays they do the same thing as males do. They hit the ball just as hard, just as males do. They run to the base just as males do. They often get home runs just as males do. So, why are they going underpaid nowadays? They should do something about that, and that is not considered fair because they work just as hard as males do, and I don't see why they don't get equally paid and get at least more money than they do now. As males, due to the fact that they are as good of athletes when it comes to being compared to males as being athletes. They stack up neck to neck as being athletes. Females are not that far separated from being less athletic than males. And according to NPRnews.org, women been working towards equal pay for over 50 years, but yet they only rake in just a fraction of what their male counterparts rake in. With that being said, females are equally athletic as males, and they should be equally paid as males. For example, I was in the recreation center, I want to say not too long ago, and I seen a female. She had on a softball ISU apparel, and she was doing extremely heavy lifts that I believe that me as a male, I wouldn't have been able to do that, and so that's very impressive. I believe that she, as an athlete, she shouldn't go underappreciated, and if she become professional, she should get paid equally to a male baseball player, because I've seen her with my own eyes do something incredible in the weight room, and I know if you could do things in the weight room, it could transform to the field as well. My last point is women go underappreciated for doing the same sport and working just as hard as males. According to TheGuardian.com, men are stronger than women, but that doesn't mean that they work harder than women. Women in sport today, they do the same workouts, they do the same plyometric running and weightlifting that males do. They might not go as heavy on their weight, but they do the same thing. They train just as hard. With that being said, training just as hard should get them just as the same amount of payment that males do. It's sacrifices in both areas, whether it's a male athlete or a female athlete. You gotta sacrifice a lot of time with your family, with loved ones, with a whole lot, with school. You gotta sacrifice a lot to become a great athlete, and women do that. They go underappreciated for doing that, and they should not be underappreciated. In conclusion, in this speech, I've covered 3 points. The first point was women have to overcome a lot of adversity to become successful in their sport. Second point is they should be equally paid as males for the great athletes they are. My third point is women go underappreciated for doing the same sport and working just as hard as males. With that being said, I believe women should be equally paid as males, especially the professionals in the United States. Professionals everywhere, matter of fact. They should be equally paid as males, and I believe you should believe that too. Thank you, and thank you for watching.